Welcome to Jacksonville Buzz. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joining me here in the studio, I have Dr. Tiffany Bannworth with Bannworth Academy of Archaeology.
That's
Tiffany,
right.
how are you doing?
Wonderful.
Or should I say doctor?
Yes,
nice
that's right.
to have you here,
Yeah,
doctor.
thank you.
Man, you got a lot more education than I do. I was impressed. So we're talking off camera. So thanks for coming in. Talk to us about your academy.
Well, it's really something that I created after years of daydreaming about what the ultimate school could be.
Yeah.
And the way I like to colloquially explain it is almost like the school that you would imagine Indiana Jones went to. So it has adventure, it has intrigue, it has the ancient world, and it has a love of the classics.
Sign me up right now.
Right? Me too. I wish I could go back and
Right.
attend my own school.
Yeah.
But essentially, the core of this is that I've created a method called the Bannworth Instruction Method, Bannworth my last name.
Yeah.
And it has two focal points, what we call both global education
Wow.
and chrono teaching, which is the colloquial term. It's taking the best attributes of educational methods from all over the world,
Right.
and that's the global teaching. And for the chrono teaching, chrono meaning time, we like to take the best attributes of teaching from throughout time,
Right.
but with a specific emphasis on the ancient world, Mesopotamia, stuff like that.
Okay.
And we've just seen almost even unintended benefits because in a lot of ways we've realized that, like for instance with the chrono teaching, the Egyptians used to do hands-on apprenticeship and stuff like that. Hands-on teaching we know is excellent. The Sumerians actually had the first curriculum. They used what was called a Budihas, and you know, in most cases, I write the curriculum for our school because the type of stuff that I'm trying to teach just isn't out there.
Right.
It's not available readily for purchase, so to say.
Yeah, yeah.
We use the Jewish oral tradition method of, which is how a lot of history has been passed down.
Right.
Even when we talk about cuneiform or hieroglyphs, where we see that stories are being passed down not just by regular letters, what we're used to, but by pictographic forms, that people that are not quite illiterate yet or not in English, they can understand these type of things. So it's actually opened up a wider window of people who could be educated in this way. People who don't necessarily always speak the same language, or they're at different crescendos of education, and it's actually attracted worldwide attention. So we have teachers from all over the world that will come in and shadow me to learn how to do something like this. And even with the global education, we have we like to do like the Scandinavian forest schooling as well. So it kind of ties into that adventure Indiana Jones, where I really feel that if you don't deal with the socio-emotional child, you know, what's the difference if you can read 5 languages if you can't get your soccer ball back on the playground? So these kids can not only, you know, translate into multiple languages, they know history so they're not doomed to repeat it, but they can climb trees, they could survive in the wilderness, they could start a forest fire, you know, not forest fire, fire, you know, a little fire in the forest. Don't do that. There's a little, you know, a little fire to keep themselves if they're lost in the forest. I mean, they can survive. And I have to say, which I think is important to say, that especially in the Scandinavian countries, they have less of a focus on standardized testing. That we don't see teaching to the test. We see the holistic approach of this entire child being brought
Trying
up.
to develop the whole human, right?
And then they really have the way that they see teachers is really a respected position there. It's not how it is here, you know. And even if you even introduce the Japanese system of the kids being their own janitors. They have a pride of what is in their classroom, what's around. There's a pride about how they leave a space. You know, always leave it better than you came. And we just take attributes, the best attributes of what other cultures, of other times, other countries, and we put them all together. But we also focus on what would be considered American classics. Like we were saying, the kids nowadays don't necessarily know the classics. So if we were talking like Moby Dick, right? So if we said we were chasing the white whale, nobody knows what that means anymore. You know, or even classical piano stuff that when I was a child, everybody knew basically the classics, basically all the composers, and you could play one instrument and you could speak one foreign language.
It's a requirement.
Right, and now it's just not. And if you do, it's amazing. Well, I want to return that back to the norm. You know?
Well, it's timeless, right? And I love what you said, because you're taking the best of all what you see, and it makes sense, right? You're not trying to force something into a straw. It actually makes sense how to do it, and you're actually, I would say, providing a educational toolkit for educators.
Yes.
And they can pick the tool they need in order to best communicate with those children to advance them. And that's pretty amazing.
I got to tell you, it's not as popular with American teachers as it is with the teachers from around the world, but I'd like to think that it's quickly picking up steam.
Well, hopefully with this interview, we can post this across Google News, Daily News Network, and get the word out, because what you got something special, and we all see it. My mom's a retired teacher, is, you know, our education system needs to develop as quick, if not quicker, as a result of all these other things. But these timeless classics are required, because there's a reason they were timeless. You know, just using the tech all the time is not necessarily all the right answers.
That's right.
It's a tool, but not the tool.
Exactly.
So Dr. Tiffany, thanks for coming in.
Well, this was wonderful.
So how do folks find you, lastly?
Well, we have the website.
The website, okay.
Which is www.bannworthacademy.com.
Okay.
We're always findable on Facebook. And if somebody wants to, sometimes not even just potential students, but teachers, educators have questions for me, or I've even created curriculum for other schools, they can call me at 321-754-4446.
God bless you. We'll take this contact information and also your website. We'll put it on our show notes, and we'll share it across the internet. So
excellent.
Thanks again. Appreciate it, Dr. Tiffany.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good luck with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, folks, you like what you heard? Please share us. Connect us on LinkedIn. And listen about what's going on around our country and how can we make things a little bit better. The Bannworth Academy, that is definitely something I'm going to take a look at. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in our next segment.